First story. My girlfriend of a little over 2 years broke up with me, catching me off guard and leaving me devastated. I will try to keep this brief, but there is a lot to unpack. We had known each other from high school, despite talking minimally. Several years after graduation, I reach out to her, and while I am out with my friends, she invites me over to her place. I ditch my friends, almost Goodwill Hunting-esque, to go see about a girl. That night we planned to watch a movie together, but we could not take our eyes off each other. We had the same sense of humor, and we shared stories all night. It was magical. Over the next couple weeks, we clicked. During our conversations, we had always agreed that we were meant for each other, as if our struggles and triumphs in life guided us to each other. We had an instant connection that was so strong. We had amazing, regular sex, our values were aligned, and we had the same goals. After many conversations, as it was fun to dream together, we established how we would like our relationship to play out. Move in together, get married, have kids, etc. She loved to plan, and I was always spontaneous. Our dates were fun and nothing too extravagant, as we both value quality time. We went to lakes, beaches, local spots, and explored Parc des Provence together. She loves the ocean, so our outings were mainly focused on that, and I enjoy being in nature, so everything was perfect, and we were happy. We cared for each other in every way we could. She would cook meals for us, and I would comfort her in times of need, among other things. We were each other's partners, and we made it an effort to have each other's backs, through thick and thin. We were inseparable. At some point throughout our relationship, with my business and her studies, we struggled to maintain the quality time that we desired, but we still made it work. We would still do the things we would plan for, and see each other as often as we could. I felt as though it was starting to cut into other areas of my life, including going to the gym, which was critical for my mental health, as well as time with my friends, who I have known since I could speak. This was a slight issue that came up. She needed me to be there for her more, as her studies picked up and caused a lot of stress. I started to cut out the other areas that were once major in my life, friends, gym, etc. I made that choice because she needed me to be there for her and guide her through the storm, as she was starting to feel burnt out. For context, this started happening late into our relationship, which was smooth sailing for a year and a half. Time goes by, and we're at a point where some of my actions bother her, but we talk it out, and I try my best to understand the way she feels. I tend to try and solve problems, as I am quite a realist. But in most cases she just wanted someone to talk to and simply understand her. I may have lacked in this department, but I made it an effort every time to really give her what she needed. I am there for her, and despite the hiccups, we are still happy, and our relationship is still strong, with the good times heavily outweighing the bad times. At some point earlier this year, I am showing her something on my phone when a girl messages me. I show her the messages because she was curious, as it was a girl who showed interest in me from before we started seeing each other, which raised questions, rightfully. There wasn't anything alarming, and I never had any interest in this girl, but she thought that the girl was trying to get with me, even though she knew I had a girlfriend. I didn't doubt her intuition, so I deleted her from social media. The month after was difficult. This is around the time we had sex less often, less quality time, and it may have felt like I was a little too comfortable in the relationship. She would have more anxiety and would be distant at times. I tried to talk to her about it as often as I could, and I feel like we had some good, genuine conversations, although it feels like she wouldn't fully open up to me. Around this time she starts to mention that she feels as if I am colder towards her and not as caring for her troubles. I disagree with her, and try my best to show her my point of view. But this does not go far, and eventually after a few weeks, she tells me she wants to take a break. At first I was shocked and angry, not at her, but at the situation. I wanted to communicate the way I felt, but it mostly came out as frustration. She can be sensitive at times, so I chose my words carefully when we spoke about the relationship. I didn't want to hurt her by saying something I did not mean. I give her space and we have very minimal contact for a little while, until we have a talk about it again. I tell her that I want her in my life, and when I ask, she says the same thing. Around this time, my I love yous aren't exactly reciprocated the same way they used to be. They sound the same, but I can tell something is off. I made the assumption that she needed time to process the idea of me talking to other women, and anything that may be going on. I reassure her that I would never cheat on her and have not had thoughts along those lines before. This is my attempt at being the rock she needs me to be. Our relationship starts to heal and we start to hang out more. We spend more quality time together and start watching a new series together, which we have enjoyed doing in the past. Although, during this time I would not go over to her place, as I am embarrassed as to what her mother and sister think of me, whom she is very close with. She assures me that she would not say bad things about me to them, but she did tell them about the situation with the girl. During this time I see it as a bump in the road of our journey that we had planned. I had been in a relationship before and knew that there will be hard times that we have to work together to overcome. I don't think much of it, and I am convinced that as long as I am supportive, we can weather the storm and come out on top together. We would call while I am working regularly and have little conversations. She seems a little distant again. We are now about to start summer, and we had plans about going to 2 weddings together, one of her aunts and the other her sister's. We had also planned on going on a trip to Europe to see my grandparents and other relatives. These were huge events that we had talked extensively about and were excited for. One day she doesn't answer my calls, and I get a text message from her saying she wants to go to the weddings alone. I call and she doesn't answer, so I text her, confused. She gives very little effort in her responses, so I ask her to call me when she has time. We talk on the phone, and I try to figure out what she is trying to tell me. Eventually she tells me that she does not see a future with me. At this point I am torn. I am so hurt by those words after the hours and hours spent up late at night cuddling, talking about our future together. I can't make sense of it. I get almost no responses from her for a couple of days, until I get a hold of her and convince her to see me in person. In an attempt to work things out, we go to the beach to watch the sunset and we begin talking. My initial objective was to either fix what had gone wrong, or at least break up in person with everything laid out on the table, no stone unturned. When she does open up, she tells me that she had changed, and that she had lost feelings for me. I don't want to believe it, because we were so good for each other, and I ask for more explanation. She says she just does not see a future together, and that she wants to break up in order to figure out her feelings and focus on herself. I tried to tell her that the way she saw me recently is not my true self, and I can be that person she wants and needs. I would do anything to make that happen. I wanted to fight for us and get through this slump. I know the kind of person she is, and I find it incredibly difficult to believe that she was feeling this way about us. I can't help but believe that her friends, who can be quite opinionated, as she says, or family are influencing her to just let go of what we had, and that she can find someone again down the line. Maybe I am wrong for thinking this way, but I am just trying to make sense of it all. She still tells me she still loves me and that she is here for me, but at my lowest points when I reach out, that is not the case. I am now at the point where she says she will give it some thought, but it seems hopeless and I spend my nights crying and reminiscing what we had. My mental health is in the gutter because everything I had been working for over 2 years was for us. All of it was so that we could have a promising future together, like we had planned. To recap, we fell in love instantly, and it was fierce and true. We were honest with each other, and we had a true connection. We were considered perfect for each other, by ourselves, friends, and family. We had a few falling out moments, but we worked on it to come out stronger. Recently she broke up with me, and blew out the flame that was our love for each other. What, if anything, can I do to save this? I know I have to give her space, at least for the time being, and as difficult as that is going to be, it is the only thing that can fix this. I want to talk to her. I want to share stories about my day. I want everything we had again. But the last thing I want to do is push her further away. What hurts about giving her space is the intrusive thought that the more time I give her, the more she will move on and forget about me, eventually finding someone else. I am in need of some advice. I want her to come back to me, and truly make the choice to be with me, and not feel forced into it. What should I do? I have not yet told anyone that we had broken up aside from a close friend. My parents and friends would be just as devastated for me, and I am too afraid to bring it up to them. Thoughts. Update. Ex rebounded fast. My ex broke up with me over text out of the blue, leaving me in total shock. When I was eventually able to see her in person, I was just told me she doesn't think we're compatible. I spent the following couple of weeks fighting for the relationship, and I did absolutely everything I could to try and fix it. At least to get her to talk to me about her feelings or why she decided that, in an attempt to have some closure, if it was truly meant to be that way. I did some soul searching, trying to find a reason for it all and where I messed up. I ended up going down the rabbit hole of avoidant and anxious attachment types, and all the signs point to her being a DA, backed by issues she had in childhood and expressing emotions. It was strange because I always felt pretty secure, but when this happened, I became extremely anxious. It was only when she told me firmly she has a boyfriend and to never contact her again, did I find some sort of closure comfort. This was about 3 weeks after the initial breakup text, but her friend confirmed she had been going on dates with him the first week. In my reflection of the situation, I am starting to feel sorry for her. I don't feel jealous or angry, I just feel like she needs to truly heal. I wanted to help her overcome this and I know I can support her, but she chose someone else so fast. And in my mind it is because she does not want to face the truth and look inwards. I believe she needs time alone to be able to grow, as I am right now, and I can't help but think she is only hurting herself, and that is what's painful. What are some possible outcomes of this new no-contact phase? I want her more than anything, but if she ever decides to come back to me, I believe it will be way past the time I needed to heal and move on. Update. How do I make sense of this? X, 22F, left me, 24M, abruptly. My ex, 22F, and I, 24AM, were together for over 2 years, in what seemed like a perfect relationship. No abuse, any disagreements were tackled with communication. She broke up with me over text about a month ago, and when I saw her one last time I asked if it's because there's another guy. She denied it. Turns out that next week she is already dating a new guy. It is her mom's friend's son. So her mom set up times to hang out with her friend, who is a women's health coach, and my ex started spending more time together alone with her while we were dating, for about 3 months before the breakup. During this time she became more cold towards me and I couldn't understand why. She wouldn't talk to me about what has been troubling her, but I could tell something was off. I tried my hardest to keep us afloat, but it just made me become more of an anxious attacher. I would consider her to be avoidant. She has a fear of abandonment and issues with her parents that divorced when she was young. Turns out she monkey branched onto her son, who is single and 34 years old, 11 years older than she is. He has more money and can take her out on adventures that she wanted to do. Rock climbing, paragliding, etc. I feel like he has the 5% she was looking for. I'm worried that this all stems down to her own insecurities with her father, being the guy is so much older. I know for a fact that if they met naturally, not through the mothers, and when she is truly healed from our breakup, she would not pick him. Honestly, he is shorter, less attractive, and has a worse job. He just had 10 more years than me to build something. I am worried for her that she will come to a realization that she is unhappy with him. but that she will stay with him for way too long in order to protect her image and reinforce the idea that she made the right decision. To note, her father is a great man that her mom divorced. He got remarried and they've been together since. But the mom has dated maybe 6 other guys that always end up being toxic. I mention this because I talked to my ex's older brother 24 and he didn't seem to care at all. But also it's been a month and he told me no one has told their father. He would definitely disapprove of the situation as he has a soft spot for his youngest daughter and was fond of the care I provided. What is going on in my ex's mind? She totally changed up super fast and this is clearly not healthy. She lost weight. I feel as though the women's health coach saw an opportunity to pounce on a young, emotionally unstable girl and set her up with her 34-year-old son. How can I shed light on this situation? Am I looking too deep into it? Second story. Is this monkey branching or something common? My first relationship of 8 years ended in March after my ex and I had a huge argument about a financial related matter as I have been unemployed for a year and my emergency funds are running low, and we have a wedding planned for next year, where she decided to end the relationship for good. She became cold and hurtful towards me since then despite my attempts to salvage and pled with her to reconcile. I know I'm pathetic. She stated that she is at no fault for initiating this breakup, and it's up to me to put in whatever effort necessary to patch things up. She rejected my request to remain exclusive to each other in the meantime, but said that she would not actively seek a new relationship unless someone wants to chase her. She even promised that she would let me know if she starts seeing someone else so that I can stop trying or waiting for her. She also insisted on a no-contact NC period of at least 30 days once I moved out of our shared rented apartment in early May, because she wanted time and space to figure things out. She even suggested and attended couple counseling with me for 2 sessions before going MIA on the 3rd session, which was scheduled to be approximately 30 days after NC commences. Last week, she finally broke NC, but it was to arrange a date to collect my remaining belongings and clothes that I left at her parents' place, and gave me a 3-week deadline before they get disposed. It was around the same time when I was told by someone else that she got a couple bracelet, which is digitally connected and would light up if the other party triggers a signal through an app, from a person who is interested in her. I confronted her over a call where she initially denied seeing somebody else, but after I mentioned about the bracelet, she told me that her promise to let me know about seeing someone expired the day I moved out because we agreed to not see each other ever again when I definitely did not and would not have agreed to something like that. I was really hurt when she confirmed the existence of the bracelet and knowing that she has been seeing someone as I had been trying my best to process emotions on my own. Even got a job and maintained NC for the past 2 months thinking that she would reconsider the relationship after. She would not reveal to me who this person is but mentioned that it's someone she knew and have been talking to in the recent years, and she had shared details of our relationship with this person. She also insisted that there's nothing wrong going on because that person was just a friend and she only started seeing this person after the breakup. I pointed out that I felt something was off, like she would be short-tempered with me and would avoid spending time with me even when I asked. In the last few months of our relationship, and said to her that it seems that she was already looking out during our relationship at that point. In response, she called me a recluse for not having friends of the opposite gender and said I was gaslighting for saying all these to her. Am I being too insecure about this? Why does she say I'm gaslighting her, unless I misunderstood the definition for gaslighting? I came across the term monkey branching while reading up articles on breakups, and I want to know in what scenarios would it be or not be monkey branching if she starts seeing dating a friend soon after a breakup. Is it really okay to share details or vent about your relationship with your current partner with a friend who could be romantically interested in you? Am I abnormal to have male close friends that I have known for decades, but not a single female friend in regular contact? I'm in my 30s. For all the things she said to me post-breakup, was I just a backup option for her in case her new relationship didn't work out? Or did she genuinely want for us to reconcile if I made enough effort? I kept thinking to myself, like if I said the right things, or gotten a job earlier, perhaps the breakup wouldn't have happened. And only now I realize perhaps none of it would have mattered. I'm just so lost now.